Creative Critical Reflection Question 1. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? My film opening task, Reflected Twins, falls into the psychological thriller genre, as it highlights and focuses on the mental instability of the protagonist. It explores different themes such as trauma and identity. The story focuses on Sebastian's psychological state rather than external action, which is the main key element for this genre. By revealing some events from his point of view, the scenes will create tension and anxiety, which will eventually encourage the audience to think about what is real and what is not. Psychological thriller films usually include conventions such as themes of mental illness and a constant sense of tension. These films often place the audience inside the protagonist's mind, which eventually makes it difficult to differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. Reflected Twins follows these conventions through Sebastian's psychological instability, especially with the fixed illusions he has that his nephew is his own son, which reflects twisted realities. Using the dream sequence at first reinforces the idea, as it creates doubt and confusion at an early stage. Plus, the story focuses more on internal struggles rather than external action, which is a main key feature of this genre. Although I have also challenged usual conventions by presenting Sebastian in a subtle and controlled manner, by avoiding exaggerations and typical stereotypes of mental illness. Instead of portraying him as unstable, obviously, I relied on showing his behavior through realistic situations to help make the narrative feel more believable. I used multiple different camera techniques to reflect the psychological thriller genre in a very effective way to help immerse the audience deep into Sebastian's unstable point of view throughout the whole story. Point of view shots were important to place the audience within Sebastian's point of view, allowing them to experience his confusion and twisted side of reality. Tracking shots were also used in a smooth way to follow his movements to help build tension in the viewers and maintain continuity when filming, especially the moments when his actions became gradually more concerning. Close-ups were also significant as they highlighted face expressions and emotional reactions such as discomfort and inner conflicts. Plus, I used the gimbal mode on the gimbal to create a controlled but slightly unsteady movement for a dreamlike effect, which has presented confusion. Altogether, these techniques have worked together to enhance the psychological power of the film opening, which helps engage the viewers more deeply with Sebastian's mental state. Sound played a huge role in creating the psychological thriller atmosphere. I used a combination of subtle and dramatic but tense music to build the unease throughout the film opening task. Dramatic but controlled music was added in different scenes to help maintain tension and ensure smooth transitions, as they keep the audience engaged. In addition, I have used intense and unsettling music during unexpected events, such as the dream sequence and those confused interactions that signal that something is off. The shift in sounds helped direct the audience's emotional actions and highlight the important moments in the story. The soundtrack was still kept minimal in general to avoid any distractions and help maintain the focus on the psychological themes of the story while allowing the audience to deeply connect with the protagonist. During editing, I used simple and clear titles and credits to maintain a professional vibe, while selecting the font Times New Roman for the film title to give it a formal and classic appearance. I have avoided overly dramatic transitions and instead used smooth cuts to keep the story flowing naturally. The editing was minimal but tends to fit the psychological genre, as it allows suspense to grow gradually rather than having complex scenes. This method helped maintain a sense of realism while still creating anxious feelings. The placement of the title was in the middle of the frame to ensure the audience remains focused on the title as well as the plot of the story. The mise-en-scène elements that I have used, such as lighting, costume, and set design, helped reflect the psychological thriller genre and social problems such as mental health. The cool blue lighting was used to create a cold and unsettling vibe, which symbolizes Sebastian's isolation and dispassion from the real world. Costumes were carefully selected to appear neat and slightly formal, especially through the use of professional clothes such as well-fitted shirts and organized outfits. This was made to create a sense of control and normality, which is different from Sebastian's unstable and twisted mind. By presenting him in a tidy manner, his behavior becomes more unusual and unsettling, as it disputes with his external appearance. Other characters, such as Clara, was styled with natural makeup and well-made hair to reinforce a sense of stability. Plus, minimal props and carefully arranged set elements were used to avoid any unnecessary distractions to allow the audience to focus on the psychological twisted tense scenes while highlighting the difference between reality and on-screen awareness. My film opening task represents social issues and especially mental health by exploring the effects of trauma and instability through Sebastian, the protagonist. His behavior represents how unresolved childhood trauma, such as abuse, can have permanent impacts on a person's realization of reality. Besides having to represent mental illness in a stereotypical way, I have aimed to portray it in a realistic way through many subtle actions and twisted thinking, which helps make the character more believable. In addition, the film reflects family changes by contrasting Sebastian with his own twin brother, Adrian, who lives a normal, stable life, which reinforces the idea on how different environments can shape a person differently. The character Clara was used to represent a sense of stability, which highlights the difference between a healthy, normal family structure and Sebastian's isolation. Sebastian can be seen by the audience as one of the individuals within the social group of people who experience mental health issues, since his behavior and ability to twist reality into something psychological unstable reflects the challenges connected with unresolved trauma. All in all, the film helps raise awareness on mental health issues and also encourages the audience to reflect the impact of trauma.